Right, hey guys, I'm making a video just giving you a recap of Laos and the highlights of the trip and what I saw and uh, pretty much what I plan to do there now, because like the the whole trip opened my eyes to a lot of opportunities that we could do that to help, and also pretty much I can share you guys more things that I haven't seen yet, and um, also I'm back in Australia, so now that I have NBN connection, I can be able to stream. So there's also the other side of my whole what do you call it, the hobby, where I'm just gonna live stream and do videos to share with you guys of these developments, and also what do you call it, also my laid back life, as well as developing a community for this program that I'm developing. So today I'm just going to talk about pretty much the days I've spent in Laos, and what I've seen and what I experienced in the past compared to what I experienced in today's Laos. So, all right, let's go on the first day. We spent time in Vientiane, and we ate at a really popular, what do you call it? It's like a Korean barbecue thing, but it's Laos made, so it's a really good quality type of a buffet look, and it was all the days that I spent in Laos. There was always hot. There was never a day that was under 30 degrees and humidity. So yeah, each video showed how much that has affected me over the days on the trip. But yeah, since I'm back in Australia, it's freaking cold, and it's not enjoyable to go out during these days. But I would say I would prefer hot days, like in Laos, or pretty much hot days anywhere, since you can like go outside and it's more bright, and yeah, you can do more things without really feeling that cold that wants to take you home feeling. So yeah, on the first day we had a nice dinner. We got there in Vientiane at 9 p.m. Yeah, we spent like almost a whole day in like Thai airport just to get to Vientiane, because that's how we planned it. But anyway, once we got there, we were like exhausted. But we had a nice dinner with a family that well, we're like close to, for like family friends, and they took us in, and yeah, I showed you guys pretty much basic living in Laos. So like the quality of where you stay is standard where I stayed at, and like you can get really high quality for cheap, but like I wanted to experience like the normal average day life type of feel. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like back in like 10 15 years ago, there's usually more like mosquitoes, like in like the main capital type of populace. But now it's like they've figured a way how to like limit the amount of mosquitoes coming into their homes. And pretty much there's like aircon is very popular now, since tech has like grown so much over the years, and also the roads are much better, but there's like potholes still. I'm not sure how like the traffic the government and traffic work, but yeah, the what do you call it, the roads are like still potholy, and they need to figure out how to fix that. Maybe have like some sort of tax, like in Australia, that what do you call a road tax, where the government taxes people with vehicle, and they can use that money to fix roads like consistently whenever. But I'm not sure how that they do it over there. But we're not there to solve that issue because like the roads are fine, like they're used to that. But all right. So the first day, that's what I discovered on my like on arrival. Then the second day, pretty much we went to explore some sites that tourists usually go, and that was pretty interesting. And yeah, the weather on that day was like hot, but it was rainy, but like the rain was awesome because it wasn't like cold, it was warm. And yeah, like the weather was great. And like for the first day, like I enjoyed spending time with the people that I stay with in Laos. And yeah, it was pretty a great start for Vientiane. But we stayed there for a few days because our plan was to go to Pak Se, which is where my parents' families and where they were raised. Also, I could compare the capital city of what do you call it, the Vientiane, how they live compared to Pak Se. It's completely different culture or lifestyle. So basically, it's like when you in the capital cities, mainly you see like westernized business who came in to create business and jobs and for people to experience and also provide jobs to the Laos people. But what I've noticed is that there are sometimes you see a couple of poor people, including children, who beg for money. Like they obviously they target people that look like they have money. Like what happened to me, they just came up to me and just raised their palm and just asked for money. Like, but the problem was like there was a lot of them, and if I were to provide some sort of little support to one of them, I'd have to give it to all of them, and probably they'll all come down on me. And so what I plan to do is like that I got that side of the what do you call it, of the life down, where I understand how how and why they are in that position. Like understand that when new businesses are booming in a capital city like that, the locals who are unaware what the changes are happening and and how to interact with the people who developed the businesses in the first place, may be stuck into a position where they couldn't what do you call it, find that opportunity and take it, or understand that this opportunity would be beneficial to them. And since they didn't take that opportunity, they probably are stuck in that financial position, and yeah, they end up begging, which means that they wouldn't be able to afford like education. But if they were to afford education, they wouldn't be in that position. But they're children, so obviously their families needed to provide for them. What else? So the idea is basically creating a solution for that. I can talk about that in another video, but let's go back to flying to Pak Se. So we're visiting my parents' like families and relatives. Pretty much everyone is there. And basically, if you go to Pak Se, the culture is slightly different to the capital city. Capital city is more businessy. The people, it's more closer together, but like the community is not as like you can talk in Pak Se, you can just not walked to next door neighbor and just have a normal conversation, like because they've been together for so long, they built a mutual relationship. They know everything. So like anyone in trouble, like stealing or anything, they pretty much know each other, and like they wouldn't dare do that because it would be really bad for their reputation and all that. But in Vientiane, there's a lot of what do you call it? More city like business people, and pretty much people just want to make money, and the only way to make money is pretty much have like a store already in place. And if you don't have that, then you're stuck in the streets like the families that couldn't find the opportunities. So the only way we can do that is pretty much get the people who are in the state of having nothing because they missed out on an opportunity, to take them outside to like more rural areas where they can actually start somewhere, because it's a lot of Laos people are good at doing all this hard labor, but don't really want to, or unaware that they can just live off the land until they can figure out how to, like move back into the city. Like if we were to help those people understand that situation and how to solve it like that, we could pretty much help lower poverty that way as well. And also there's elderly people in the streets still begging, even after all these years. I don't think they have like some what do you call it, the pension stuff like that. So if they do, I'm not aware, but if they don't, we could probably develop some sort of program to help assist those people out of the streets as well. However, we'll consider the children first, because like, have you ever seen children in the streets in like the first world countries, like begging for money? Maybe you have, but mostly children would be in like orphanages or something, like they would be in like companies that already help with that situation in the first world countries in the first place. But yeah, in a third world country, you actually see children begging, so that's an eye-opener. And yeah, so that's the negative side, but it's not really going to be a problem in the future. So back to Pak Se. So pretty much we moved to Pak Se. The environment in Vientiane was much more like there was not a lot of environment, like nature. So like what I noticed is that when I was a kid and I was in Laos, I noticed they used to have these geckos that make that loud noise that back then in Vientiane, but now they're like, it sounds like they're extinct. Like I hear nothing. Like they usually they bark at night, but now they're like extinct or something. So that's a big thing about the developments, where it moves out all the all the nature that was there out further into the the forests of Laos, which will probably change in the future as well because of these investments. So yeah, move to Pak Se. It's like Pak Se is like in between. The level of comfort is like, it's like really more open to the community, more chill, peaceful. Like there's not a lot of cars. Like usually you hear tons of cars driving by it in Vientiane, but Pak Se is not really. You don't really get bothered by the noise, the noise of anything, because like you hear a lot of bugs and stuff, and you think that that's gonna well, like keep you awake at night, but like you get used to it like in a couple of days because like you're in this new environment. You you take everything in, and like this is the experience that you're gonna get, and you won't get anywhere else. And one day it's gonna like go away because a lot of carbon footprint from the people developing businesses. And yeah, so I showed you guys like the loud noises that happen in Paksir. That's usually what happens, but everyone's used to the noise. And then I showed you guys on the following day that that I went to. This was like a temple, ancient temple that I went as a kid, and when I went there, I don't remember exactly how it was back then, but like now it looks so like I'm more interested into like going to places like this, and like it kind of jogs my memory, but like it's still a great experience to go to. And yeah, I like that. And yeah, maybe you guys should visit it sometime. So on the map, how we got to Paksir was basically we took a plane from Vientiane, went straight over. It was like south to the south. Yeah, that's Paksir right there. So we flew a plane over. It took about 1 hour. And so in the past, back when I was a kid, there wasn't any plane traveling at all. To like there was the only plane travel was from like Bangkok all the way to Vientiane. There was no Laos plane. Like Laos didn't have its own airline until like, well, I don't know since when they had a plane, but I just noticed like their own plane this on this trip. So yeah, basically it took us 1 hour to get to Paksir. But if we were to take a bus, that's how we went to Paksir. Usually we take a stagecoach to from Vientiane. Like we follow this road all the way round and until we reached Paksir, which took about probably 8 hours, and we had to leave in the morning, like 6 or 5 in the morning. And so, yeah, so basically, yeah, usually we spent 8 hours in that bus, and we only had like probably we stopped probably by each little town, because back then when everyone took buses, I think they still do take buses, but when you take the bus, they always stop at like little towns, and there's always people on the sides of the streets who are getting ready to like sell their like food. Like they usually, I like to have this grilled chicken they always hand out. It's pretty good, but I haven't had that grilled chicken in a long time. But yeah, one day we'll have that. I don't know if it's the same or not, but yeah, the chicken is like delicious. Like the chicken is different from ours. Ours is like in Australia is like those fat chickens, but in Laos there's like skinny. They're like they look athletic. The chickens are more athletic looking. It's like different type, but their meat is delicious as well. So yeah, basically if you were traveling by bus, you'd stop through all these towns and take breaks and all that. That's why it took 8 hours, all those breaks, until we got to Paksir. And yeah, once we got to Paksir, we started talking to our relatives, and then we started visiting like places we haven't visited in a long time. All right, so after that we traveled to, where is it? Oh, we traveled to Pak Song. Pak Song, we took a like a friend who is like he takes tourists around in a little bus. He he took us to Pak Song. Pak Song is pretty much a nice region where the weather is like just below the average with like 30 degrees, and like the humidity is like lower, and like the weather is perfect. And so pretty much we went towards Pak Song just to visit this Tat Yuan waterfall. And yeah, the waterfall is like really like chill, peaceful, and like you can walk through like this pathway where you can see like a bit of wildlife and vegetation that is like all natural and maintained by the people who live there. And yeah, this area that I'm showing you guys is pretty much you can visit there, and there will be like tourist destinations through these paths. Like I remember that there's one day I went to, I think it went down here just to see like an animal park. Like we saw some deers, but yeah, that's one of the one of the places to visit when you get to Laos, like between Bak Song. Eat there if you want some good weather. And then we just came back to Pak Se in the same day. What else happened? So yeah, after that we traveled to Kina, but in Pak Se I'll just give you a little bit of information about the comfort compared to what do you call it, Vientiane. So pretty much the comfort level in Vientiane is you can get everything you want in from the first world that you'd expect, and like to to make your life comfortable living there. So you can have like aircon, you can have the best internet connection. Apparently they've almost reached 5G, because apparently China is like providing all that support, because China is like developing some sort of a, what do you call it, train line that's gonna connect through countries, so they can transport business related stuff across much more efficiently. So that's gonna bring a lot of business and changes to the culture in Laos. All right, so we went to Pak Se. Pak Se in between, I enjoyed Pak Se, the comforting experience, much better in Pak Se rather than Vientiane, because like it's more quiet, and then you still have the what do you call it, the air control, and the internet is perfect. And also there's what's it called, I don't know, like you can go anywhere, like everything is close. You can just take you can have your own bike, you just drive to the what do you call, the store in like minutes, and like there's not a lot of traffic. And whilst if you know a lot of people in places, you would enjoy it much more, which is why I liked Pak Se, because it felt like everyone I walked past I knew, and which is great. And yeah, so basically, yeah, Pak Se is really good living experience in my opinion. But I noticed there's a lot of tourists, and there's an area where tourists live around, and that's all they go go when they explore. So what I plan to do is like develop some sort of westernized area where we can build a community where people who come as tourists can meet up and like maybe engage with the community. And there would be like people that I would have, like Laos people who can show those people around if they wanted to, like maybe because a lot of people wouldn't know about like all the attractions in Pak Se. Like at the moment they're developing new tourist zones, tourist regions, like in I went to Salavan province, and apparently it's very new. There's barely any business going on because it's just about finished, and they are planning to have like people to start running businesses over there, and pretty much we can just create some sort of tourism company that can take people there to visit, but that's gonna take a couple of years to develop. So yeah, after I spent some time in Pak Se, the next level of comfort that I exposed myself to was Kina, which is what do you call it? So from Pak Se, we went down by car. It took us like probably 1 or 2 hours drive down. And yeah, Mueang Kong is like, it's got some nice river like splits around here. I think, yeah, we went there to did we visit that? Not sure where that there's this massive waterfall I went to, but I don't remember where that is. I think it was this Mueang Kong, but anyway, I went to Mueang Kong, and further down is Kinak, where we stayed for a day, which is at my dad's side's family. So we went to visit their family, and like back then when I was a kid, I enjoyed staying there, but it was very, very humid, and there was a lot of mosquitoes. There was no way of getting away from bugs, and the only way we can survive is through the protection protection net when you sleep. So yeah, and even if you sleep under that, like it's so humid, there's no aircon, like no natural development that keeps the heat out of the homes when you spend the night. But yeah, living there was a struggle. I only stayed there one day. Like if you watch my videos on that day, I was like screwed. It was so hot, but it's good to see like developments there now. Because back then there wasn't, like 10 years ago or more, there wasn't any like electricity lines there at all. And all I remember from when I was a kid was there was they used car batteries for like power. So I was like, damn, I can't believe they were living like this for like that long on car batteries, until I'm not sure when they got electricity lines. That when that came in, that would have made their life so much easier, and like my life as well. But at that moment, when I got there, we were looking at the land that my father inherited, and also he developed a nice little hut or home that one day we can, when we go visit, so we can start developments, we can have a place to stay that we can be comfortable in. So hopefully once we build that house in one of the videos, that day 7 video, we can have probably aircon, because since there's electricity coming in, aircon. And the good thing about living over there is like, it's next to a river. We can try to siphon, like we can build like some sort of pipe that sucks in water, that transfer water, and we just make a little lake for whatever developments we are on our land. And that'll be pretty good, pretty handy to have if once we start developments. So yeah, Kinak was a very intense experience on just for one day. Yeah, out of the 3 different regions that I've spent my time in, like Vientiane, Pak Se, and what do you call it, the Kinak, like I would rather live in Pak Se. That's one of my recommendations are. I would rather live in Pak Se. Vientiane is for I would say mostly tourists that want to enjoy pretty much the recommended tourist attractions. But if you want more, yeah, I'd say I'll visit Paxe, and then eventually, we'll have around this pretty much region, we'll have developments that can provide tourist attractions. But until then, we just have to stick with pretty much Paxe for now. Paxe towards Baksong. That's where you would you as a tourist would enjoy pretty much from Paxe. You travel around Bajiang. I think there's like coffee fields over there that we visited. You can try Laos coffee if you want. That's good. All right, where else? So basically, we went to visit this new region that I haven't visited when I was a kid. It's called Salavan. In Salavan, there's like this region above it, I think. I don't remember where exactly we went to visit that tourist attraction. Where was it? Because we went to this Din cave. There's like 7 caves that you can experience and explore, and we only went to 3 out of 7. So like one day I'll come back and visit the other 4. And yeah, so apparently that tourist attraction is underdeveloped. Hopefully it'll be complete in a couple of years, and then we'll have visitors visiting that region for for experience and providing support to the people that are living there as well. And yeah, that's how I spent my days in Paxe. What else? Oh yeah, Paxe and Kinak. After we got back from where did I go after that? Oh yeah, so we went to a wildlife park. It looks like it's like a normal park. You just go there, visit the sites, look at the little river with like this massive catfish, and then there's like a little waterfall, and like there's also what do you call it? This cultural type of cultural events that happen, where like there's like Laos back when, like thousands of years ago, they have people that live in the forests, and that's how they lived and their culture. And also wildlife. I saw a couple of deers. Apparently they're extinct because becoming extinct or rare because of developments. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Paxe. Yeah, so I'll show you guys a day through the driving or traveling through the traffic in Laos. So Paxe, it's not too bad. No, like I thought there would be so much more cars because like I haven't been there in 10 years, and back then the roads were much more like devastating to drive in. It's all bumpy, and then what do you call it? There's more cars crashes and everything. But now there's like traffic lights, and there a lot more people are invested in like what do you call it, the SUVs, because like they can fit more stuff, and it's much more efficient now, because the only things like back then there was like mostly tuk-tuks that are like traditional for the Laos people to have, but now there's rarely any of those. But if you want to experience that, it's up to you. I'd expect you guys to experience that once. Just travel in tuk-tuks, and so that is Paxe for you guys. And I can't wait to go back. Maybe I'll visit. Oh yeah, I went to Atapu as well. I think I had family over there because they work in like the power industry. We went there to talk about like business and developments that's what we planned to do in the first place. We went there to talk about the developments that we planned to have, and then and that place is very hot too. Like but it wasn't like unbearable. There was like tourists hotels and that you can just hire. And then there's like on this river you can have have a nice dinner on the side of the river, and you can hire a boat. So yeah, I went a day in Atapu just to visit parents. I mean, not parents, but relatives. Yeah, so that's all I went to in this side of the country. I'm not sure where else I haven't been. I've never been to Sekong, but maybe one day I'll visit there if there can be opportunities for people. And then where do we go? So it's nice to see that there's like big reservations protecting forests and wildlife. So as long as we have this, the culture will stay for quite a while. So yeah, so if you experience Laos, you'll always have that natural feel and peace and quiet if you want to experience that. So yeah, when after we traveled around Park Se, we stayed there for like 2 weeks, and we still didn't go everywhere. Yeah, I started to enjoy living there 2 weeks. Like every morning I always woke up at 7, and yeah, to post videos and whatnot. And I don't know, like you get a better feeling getting up earlier than like in the afternoon. Like the place we stayed was like a normal little roomy hotel, and like it wasn't hot when you get out because like there was aircon already in place. But yeah, it was good getting up in the morning. I even went for a jog across this bridge. Took an hour, and then like there's this little settlement over this little golden Buddha. I suggest you guys visit that one day. I jogged across the bridge, and then we jogged up the mountain. This is like a mountainous area, and there's this massive Buddha on top, so you can just take your pictures when you get there. And then yeah, it's a great tourist area. Just jog in the morning, it's really good. And then we jogged all the way back. Like almost couldn't make it to the top because I wasn't prepared for those steps. Those steps were like very hard on my legs because I stopped exercising. But eventually I got used to it because we started walking around a lot. All right, so yeah, after going there, we went back to Pak Se. And then from Pak Se, after the 2 weeks, we bought a ticket to go past to Vientiane towards Luang Prabang. So Luang Prabang, I don't remember being there, but it's a common attraction to tourists. So I saw a lot of Europeans over there, and Koreans, and pretty much we flew like 2 hours over to Luang Prabang. There was family there, of course, and then we went there for 2 days. We went to see like the nightlife. Nightlife was pretty cool. Like the clothes and the souvenirs they sell are pretty neat quality. It's like the quality of the clothing is just right for that weather, so you can just purchase that, just wear that for the whole like trip. And it's pretty nice souvenir. So you guys visit there, just buy something that to wear or use. and support the community over there. Also, yeah, we on the second day we lived there. We went to, what do you call it? Guangxi. I don't remember where it is on the map, but yeah, the roads in Luang Prabang are like scary as hell. Like there's always the buses on those at the main roads, and they it feels like they drive so fast on the turns and everything. It's you'd expect to get get hit by another car on the other side. It's crazy, man. But yeah, so we got out there alive. But yeah, still a good experience. Just go there to spend a day at the Guangxi, and then like there's what do you call it, temples there that history temples. I went to one of the history museums where a lot of presidents and prime ministers visited and gave what do you call it, the gifts to the king of Laos. That was back like a long time ago. Like there's no royal family in Laos anymore. That was the last, but it's a good experience to have. Like just yeah, there we go. Traditional arts, and is that, I think that's, but yeah, the Royal Palace. That's the one. Yeah, just visit the Royal Palace, and yeah, so, and like pretty much immerse yourself with the history of the royalty, and it's pretty good. And yeah, it's a nice place to visit, and I got some people there that are really nice to have around during the stay. And yeah, the weather is pretty good over there. Like we're all surrounded by mountains in this region, and yeah, it's good for taking photos and whatnot. The food is good too. Like the street food, it looks really nice, but I couldn't have any of that nice pancake they had. Like it took a while to make, but yeah, maybe next time when I go there. So yeah, after the 2 days, we went back to Vientiane, and we spent our last few days in Vientiane. After that, before we spent our last days in Vientiane, we spent our last days with the family we stayed with, and we traveled by car like 2.5 hours past all the way to Vang Vieng, which is another tourist destination which has finished developments on there's this couple of areas in Vang Vieng that is under development for tourism, and the first one, the main one, is complete, and there's like two or three more developments underway, and I went to both of them in my YouTube videos. I showed you guys those developments, which is a nice place to visit, even though it's not complete. At least you get to see what it is now, and then like in the future, if you come back, you can see like the complete development of that project in the future, which would be nice. So yeah, Vang Vien's a nice place to visit. I didn't get to I made a video of me crossing the bridge, but we didn't get to go up this mountain to visit this statue on the mountain. So when I get back there, I'll probably go there and show you guys that tourist destination again. But yeah, Vang Vieng is a really nice place to visit. There's a lot of tourists there, and yeah, you can just get along with everyone that's involved. And there's a lot of like hotels and whatnot being developed by investors, which is nice. So eventually, once that's complete, we'll have more people visiting, and then more business coming in for the people. So yeah, when we drove back, we drove past Hua. Apparently, the water has decreased because there was like developments of what do you call it, the hydro dams. So yeah, this thing we flew over from Bakse, it looks like the ocean. It's like blue, but one day I'll probably visit that because like I think you can get a boat ride and just like experience this type of. It's like a giant lake. So the closest thing I went to visiting this was pretty much once we drove back to Vientiane, on the way back we drove down this road. We drove down here. I didn't even know there was a Laos zoo. I would visit it one day, but yeah, next time. So we drove down here, and then we took a path to the left, which led us to like a Laos casino, which was developed by China, like Chinese investors, so pretty much China's. But yeah, as we drove down here, like you can get a nice view of the lake, ocean like lake. It's all blue, and like you can go visit that that nice casino and yeah, you can just stay there for a day, maybe gamble for a bit if you're into gambling, but yeah, not my kind of thing. But yeah, it's a nice place to visit if you want to see the river, the lake. Yeah, so we spent like a moment there on the way back. So when we drove back to Vientiane, that was our last few days in Vientiane before we headed back home to like from Bangkok all the way home. So but before that we just went to like the stores to get like a couple of souvenirs before we head back. What else? Yeah, and so that was the entire trip. So overall, the experience was very informative to me, and there was so much opportunities that I can develop for people that are in need over there. However, I don't have the sufficient funding to kickstart it. Well, we have kickstarted the development for like farming down here, Kinak. So the idea of that is pretty much having sustainable income to use that income to develop the projects. However, that is why I made all these videos, so I can promote my ideas to like a community that I'm currently developing to support these causes, and hopefully we can see all the positives that we can bring out from these developments. What else? Yeah, so there was still a lot of poverty, but the poverty when people say poverty, it's like people that are really struggling right now, and like they don't have access to food or water or any what do you call it, health and all that. But Laos is like just got out of poverty. That's how I feel when the places where I went there. It feels like that everyone is supporting each other in some sort of way and not relying on like the government really as much. Like I don't think there's like government support for like the people that are actually in the streets, and what they can do or trying to do is support those people by providing jobs. Other than trying to develop jobs just to get by for themselves, they are slowly developing jobs for more people to sustain themselves as well. And the idea is that, well, for me, is to develop jobs that like take people from areas that they are stuck in, like the capital of Vientiane. There's children there that don't have jobs or education because their family is stuck in a region where they're unable to adapt because they can't afford to start off yet. But if they were given an opportunity outside, like anywhere, like if they were to afford like a ticket to get outside, they'll probably, there's a chance they may take it, but we'll see. But if they do, it'll be great, and we can create a positive community. And if it works out, like we can get those families that succeed to share their successes with people that are struggling as well, and give them opportunities from then on. And yeah, so that was my trip to Laos, and hopefully I've been to all the places that I should visit. But if I don't, I'll probably visit the areas that I haven't been yet, and maybe I'll have people who are interested to come along as well one day. So yeah, that's Laos, everyone. Pretty good experience if you're interested. So the idea for my community is I'm going to end up developing my own like tourist maybe company or some sort of a place where people from countries outside can connect with people that they can have a more in-depth experience of where they should go, what they can do, and who to experience it with. And yeah, so now since I'm back and I've talked about Laos, I'm just gonna give you guys some insight on. So basically, this is the layout I'm going to have for my talks about anything, any discussions about Laos, my entrepreneurship, ideas, visions, like what we plan to do next, like all the social media related stuff that I'm planning. It's all going to be on this type of layout. So right now I'm going to be doing a live stream so I can connect with people and pretty much play games that I enjoy, and hopefully we can get people who like to talk about these issues and problems in like third world countries, and we can build a community off that, because like I'd like to talk about a lot of economy related things that can actually help countries that are in need, and any possibilities that we could do, and try to solve those issues with solutions that may work, but maybe we'll implement them ourselves if we actually have enough supporters to provide those developments. But first things first, we're just gonna focus on developing Laos to see if this project works. So it will work, in my opinion, since we're going to be spending years on this farm and developing and expanding more and more like produce and everything, and building connections towards towards Vientiane, there's going to be tons of businesses demanding quality produce that we will be able to provide eventually. And since we will try to build an influence towards that, we can have more people get involved that are in need. And then we just build off of that, and then all that money will continue to contribute to developments anywhere necessary within Laos until there is like the economy is pretty much stabilized, but like, you know, increasing as well. And then if Laos is completely like fine and developed, we could probably have that additional funding left over to develop other countries that are in demand of this type of development or support. But we're going to take consideration of many like factors involved in the countries that we may start to develop solutions for. So until then, yeah, that's probably 5 years down the line. But yeah, that's Laos. And if you guys are interested in these developments or want to know more, just follow my social medias in the description, or like I have a what do you call it, that little social media tab thing above me. You can just follow that. Well, yeah, and from now on I'll start making videos talking about the brand, the vision, ideas, where I'm going with the social media type of style of business, and what else? Yeah, and mostly live streams. So if you guys want more context or information, or I'd recommend you guys go to my live streams when I'm available. You can find that, you can follow that on what do you call it, on Twitter. So because I'll give you guys notifications on Twitter and also my subreddit, and yeah, until then. So this video will be out on the 13th, but for the actually this video will be out on Patreon on the 13th, but it'll be like a week later on YouTube. So yeah, if you guys subscribe to my Patreon, you'll be able to see it earlier and more videos to come. But until then, if you guys want free videos, you just wait on YouTube and just continue to follow the videos until the latest video comes out. Yeah, so I'll see you guys on Twitch soon if you guys are interested.